It'll be the usual props today if you need to gather those. Just a strap and a couple blocks or something to raise the floor and a cushion or a blanket, whatever you want to sit on. You can start seated and just make yourself comfortable. First paying attention that whatever's touching the floor feels evenly balanced. So you could check in with your pelvis and just notice if it's tilting front, back, side to side, and try to level it. And then take a breath in and feel your spine lengthening. You can even shrug your shoulders up to your ears to give the sides of your waist more of a stretch. And then as you exhale, just settle your arms, relax your shoulders, and then feel for weightlessness in your head, your neck, your face. And then you can close your eyes and turn your attention back in on yourself. And start to draw your senses within. So with eyes closed, what does it look like inside? How are you feeling? And right away your body might be talking to you. There could be certain areas that want some attention, some movement or stretching. There might be some areas that need a little more tenderness or care, especially if you're dealing with an illness or an injury. But you might even find that you don't feel much, and that's okay too. And then start to sense your breathing. Your right nostril, your left nostril. Are both clear, or is one more open than the other? What's the temperature of your breath, the texture, the rhythm? Does it feel quick, slow? Are there pauses between the inhale and exhale? And sometimes just through observing, things change on their own, and that's all right too. And then notice your mind space. So this includes your thoughts, your emotions, your mood, all of that. Is your attention laser-like? Is it easy to focus? Are you feeling dispersed or distracted? Yoga is so simple. Sometimes we make it more complicated than it needs to be. We do this practice, we move, we get comfortable, and then we just become still and watch and see what's there. And if there's something that's on your heart today, you can bring that to your mind as an intention or a prayer. And then join your hands together in front of your chest. And maybe repeat your intention to yourself silently. And take a deep breath in, feel yourself swell and fill up internally. And let it out your mouth, just sigh. And you can rub your hands together, breathe normally. And once your hands are warmed, cover your eyes. Blink your eyes open, and then relax your palms all the way back down. Okay, namaste. So we'll get started with some movement, and we'll begin with the neck from the top. So you can drop your chin towards your chest, and then slowly roll your head over to one shoulder, just letting the weight of your skull, your brain, apply the stretch to your neck, and then go slowly the other direction. The weight of your own body can be used to your advantage. And just feel all the sensation through the sides of the shoulders, the back, even down the arms, maybe even into the hands, as you let your head rock from side to side. Behind the ears, the base of your skull, all this could be a little bit tender, especially if you're on your screen quite a bit. I notice that for myself, that my neck gets sore. And then bring your chin back to center, start to lift your head up, and then tilt over to one shoulder, can go any direction you like. And start to feel that gentle pulling across the side of the neck. Yeah, you can apply pressure if you would prefer that. Another option is to stretch your arm out to the side and just let the hand hover. And sometimes that can bring more sensation to the nerves. And if you want to take that up a notch, you flex your hand back towards you. And this can be electrifying. I feel that right through my fingertips. And just stay for a few breaths and see if the sensations will start to settle. And that's the power of your breathing. To relax into whatever it is you're experiencing. Take one more breath. And then lift your head up and just go the other way. So you can drift your head to one shoulder. Feel free to use your hand if that felt good to apply some pressure. You could even take your arm out to the side, let the fingers dangle. And it doesn't have to look the same on each side. So if this is enough, you just stay where you are. And if you want to turn up the volume a little bit, maybe try aiming your fingertips back towards you. Whew. Sometimes it feels like a little bolt of lightning when you do that. Take one more breath. And then relax your hand if it was flexed, bring your head back up and roll your shoulders out. So backwards can be a nice way to begin because most of the time our shoulders tend to drift forward throughout the day. So set them back, open up your chest, and even stretch your lungs a little bit as you do this. And then just for balance, go a few times forward, see how that feels. And then settle the arms, and let's take a little twist here while we're seated. So you can turn and aim your chest, your sternum, across one knee. You can use your hands for a little bit more leverage, holding onto your opposite knee, or you could bring one hand in front of you, one hand behind you, and press down into the ground to lengthen your spine up towards the sky. And take a few breaths here, imprinting this twist into your body, feeling the stretch around your waist, the discs decompress, and then go the other direction. You can use your hand and push back against your knee, or your palms, your fingertips, can go in front of you and behind you, and use that like a prop to lift your chest, lengthen your spine. And then take a couple breaths, breathing into wherever there's some resistance. Just focus your attention there. And imagine your breath permeating right through your skin. And then unwind, and big breath in, sweep your arms out to the sides and up, reach. You can look up if you like, and then exhale, head back to neutral, arms come down, and do that twice more. Inhale, lift up, spread through your fingers, open your palms, and exhale, relax your face, your jaw, even your tongue. One more time. Lengthening from your seat all the way up to the tips of your fingers, and then exhaling down. All right, now I'll do some cat and cow. So if you like it seated, you could do it sitting down, or if you prefer from hands and knees, you could do that variation, and maybe give yourself some extra cushion if you're on a hard surface. So the knees go under the hips, hands go under the shoulders. Hi, Irene. And then take a breath in. Reach your chest forward, tilt your tail up, your head back, and then exhale, round your spine, push into the floor to curve in your upper back, right in between the shoulder blades. And then continue, inhaling to stretch the front of your body, and exhaling to stretch the back. You feel the rocking in your pelvis, the nodding of your head. Take 1 or 2 more cycles. Last one here, breathing in. Little tone to the belly so you don't curve your spine too much. And then exhale, round your back. Squeeze the belly muscles in, and then shift your hips back into Balasana, child's pose. And this is a restorative posture, so use it as a chance to calibrate your breath and check in with how you feel. Notice if there's a difference between the right side and the left side of everything. So it could be your shoulders, your back, your hips, even your hands and your feet. Take 1 more breath. And then shift yourself forward and grab your blocks, and we'll do a few lunge variations. I like to do these pretty regularly, if not daily, because it's like the counter stretch to sitting for your hip flexors, your thighs. So the blocks go under your hands. You'll step 1 foot forward. I have my right foot in front, left knee down, or if your knees are sensitive, you either give yourself more cushion or lift your knee up and it will be a high lunge. So you have options. And then you can stretch your chest forward, push down into your front foot, inhale. And as you exhale, hinge your hips back and straighten into your front leg as much as you like. So your knee does not need to extend completely. And then inhale, just rock back into your lunge. Feeling that stretch across the front of your left hip, even your thigh, your belly perhaps. And then exhale. Feel the sensation across the back of your right leg, your right hip, even into the Achilles tendon. Couple more times with your breath. This whole practice can be simplified into breathing, having a good breathe. That's the priority. And come back into your lunge, bending your front knee. Back knee can be off the ground if you prefer. Shift your weight into your left hand. Bring your right hand to your hip and then start to open your chest to the right. So you're priming your upper back, like you could carve a little ditch right between your shoulder blades. So your chest might move forward, the shoulder blade squeezes in towards your spine, and you feel that opening across the whole right side of your chest, your armpit, even the arm. Take 1 more breath. You can lift your arm up if that feels natural. And then exhale, lower everything down. And between sides, let's take another child's pose. And you can explore different variations with your arms. Your hands might feel more comfortable being closer to your face. You could even slide your hands back by your feet with your palms up. Feel the whole back side of you expanding as you breathe in and settling closer to the earth as you breathe out. And with your next inhale, Start to shift forward, and we'll do that whole lunge sequence on the other side. So I'm stepping my left foot forward, aligning the knee on top of the heel. My toes are pointing straight ahead, and then you can turn your blocks to whatever height you need or use something higher in front of you. Press into your foot, lift your chest as you breathe in. And as you exhale, imagine your hips are being pulled back and you start to stretch your leg. And then inhale, rock forward, lift your chest, and exhale, hinge backward. And remember, you always have the option with your knee off the ground. Press into your feet, use them for stability. And imagine like they were dried in concrete. So you have plenty of balance, plenty of support. One more time. And then we'll take it into a twist. So your knee can be off the ground or it could be up. Press into your right block if you're using a block, right hand. Left hand comes to your hip, turn your chest off to the left. You can stay here, take a few breaths, drawing your left shoulder blade, that tip in towards your spine to extend your thoracic right here. That's the area that tends to be the stiffest in the back because the ribs attach and house the lungs and the heart. But we can bring a little more mobility there. One more breath. If you want, you can stretch your arm up. And then exhale, hand comes down. One more child's pose before we come to stand. Now, if you want another option, you could use your blocks. Place your hands on top. That way your elbows hover off the ground. And this is just a little more energizing. A little more stretch for the underside of the arms. Your head can dangle here. You can rock it side to side. Take one or two more breaths. And then start to shift forward and make your way up to standing. So you could come through a lunge, step your back foot forward to meet your front foot, and then hinge your way up. And once you're there, reposition your blocks in front of you. And if you're using a blanket on your mat or you have something in the way, just set that to the side. We will use the strap in a moment, so have that handy. But first we'll take a few cycles of Surya Namaskar, or sun salutation. Starting with your feet, you can look down and lift your toes away from the floor. Fan them out just like you can your fingers. And feel how your arches lift and the soles of your feet get broader. Then, can you keep that somewhat and replace your toes back down? So your feet should feel pretty active and buoyant. Then notice your pelvis. If your tailbone is aiming back or if it's tucking under, can you neutralize it so it just hangs straight down, literally like you had a tail, it just hangs straight down. Level through your hips, so that can be sensed if one foot is heavier than the other, try to even that out. And then notice your ribs. If there's a tendency here for them to drift away from the hips, center them. Might mean engaging your belly. And then do the same with your shoulders. So you're just walking up your scaffolding. Shoulders roll back, stack on top of the ribs, then the arms dangle. And then notice your head, your neck. Can you center that right in between the shoulders so that you feel weightless? And maybe you'd like to close your eyes and sense yourself. Gaze inward and just see what you see. You can remind yourself of your intention if you like. Take one more breath. And then open your eyes if they're closed. Breathe in, spread your arms like wings, reach up. And exhale, start to bow forward. Bend your knees. Take your arms wide and down, either to your thighs, your shins, your blocks, or the floor, or whatever prop you're using. Drop your head, relax your face. Inhale, lift yourself up halfway. Hands can even slide up the legs. And then exhale, fold back down, keeping a bend in your knees if the backs of your legs or lower spine are tight. Press into your feet. With your inhale, start to rise up. Spread your arms, lift. And exhale, arms relax. All right, 2 more like that with your breath pace. Reach up. And bow. Inhale, find some lift, open your chest. And exhale, settle, relax. Push into your feet, strong legs, rise up. Exhale, arms down. 1 more on your own. And then pause and notice the effects. I like that you bring your hands together at the end of each one, Donna. That's a nice option. Another way to remind yourself of your intention. And then when you're ready, relax your arms and grab your strap. So your blocks can go off to the side. And your strap, you can hold about shoulder width or wider, if you like, between your hands. And we're just going to move the arms in various directions with tension on the strap. So you want to keep it taut. We'll start going forward and up. So inhale, reach your arms forward. You could pause about shoulder height, or you could keep going up above you, trying to bring your arms in line with your ears. And then exhale, lower your arms back down, just keeping the tension on the strap. So this can be an isometric engagement of all the muscles in your arms if you focus on pulling your hands away from each other. So a good way to plug your arm bones in the shoulder socket, which is naturally very shallow. That's why you have a lot of mobility. But there's potential for the arm to move away from the socket, and sometimes we experience that. Let's do 1 more here, moving with your breath. Push down into your feet. Notice if your ribs are drifting forward, draw them back with your belly muscles. Okay, now we'll go side to side. So you'll lift your arms up. You can bend your elbows if straight arms is too intense. And you're just going to lean towards one foot. Inhale to come up. And exhale, lean the other way. If you prefer arms straight, you can take that variation. Keep pulling your hands away from each other and notice how that affects your shoulders, your back, your chest. And feel the opening through the sides of your waist, your ribs, under the arm into the armpit. If you want to challenge yourself with a little bit of a balance obstacle, the next time that you lean to one side, shift your weight into that foot and see if you can slide your other foot further away to your tiptoes, or lift the foot off the ground and pause. And then come back up and go the other way. And then just try that one more time each side. This is optional. Sometimes it can deepen the stretch a little bit. And then come back up, take a break with the strap for a moment. Whew. We have one more movement, just relax your shoulders. Maybe roll them out. Okay, now we'll take a twist. So the strap goes back up. You can have elbows bent or arms straight. Keep the tension. Turn your chest off to one side. Keep pulling your hands apart. And then come back. Chest squares forward. And then turn the other way. Focus on the muscles right below your bottom ribs. Right into this soft space between the rib and the hip. It's like you're wringing yourself out. And these can give you a lot of core support. Great for balance, stability, and just making it easier to move. One more each direction. If your arms are getting tired, you're doing it right. And then come forward, drop the strap, reach your arms wide, and then wrap them around yourself and just take a casual little sway from side to side. And then switch, bring the other arm on top, just do the same thing. You can knead around your shoulders and your upper back if your hands reach, and just give them a little squeeze, quick little massage. Okay, now we'll focus on the lower body. Give your arms a break. So we'll practice the balancing pose. You can stand on your right foot, spread and lift your toes, establish that broad foundation. And then once you feel secure, you can lift your other leg up and hold either underneath the thigh or the front of the shin. And this can be practiced against a wall if balance is a little bit tricky and you just want to focus on that lifting of the leg. You can also hold on to a chair beside you. Push down into your standing heel. Feel the side and the back of your buttocks muscles engage. Take one more breath. And then step down, shake it out between sides if you need to, and then change. Other foot, fan your toes, place them back down, even out your weight, and then lift your leg up. Engage your low stomach muscles for support here. Hold the underside of your thigh or the front of your shin, and feel your bottom muscles squeeze and tone here. That's going to give you better balance. Push down into your heel. That can help you find those muscles if you're having a hard time locating them. Take one more breath. And then lower down. And now we'll just guide the knee out to the side, doing the same thing. So you step into your foot, find that flamingo stance, lift your leg. Now bring one hand to your hip and take the other hand to guide the knee out to the side. If you prefer to hold onto a chair or a wall or something, that's fine too. And just let your foot relax. Take one or two more breaths. Set that side down and change. So focus on these muscles right around the outer hips. Stepping in. Guiding the leg up. Use something for balance to support you. That way you can breathe. And then aim the knee off at an angle. Still engaging that standing leg muscle support all around the hip. And when you're ready, come down. Good, shake it loose. All right, now open your legs out wide, and you can take your strap with you. This could just be an option to play with. You don't have to use it. We'll try triangle pose using the strap. So turn your right toes to point straight ahead to the short edge of your mat. Your left toes angle in, front heel bisects the back arch. Can bend your knees slightly, especially if your hamstrings are tight. And then take the strap between your hands. Actually, I'm going to bring it behind my back. That might be easier. And you'll hold it, taking as much slack as you need to so the arms can go straight. Breathe in. And as you exhale, begin to lean forward. You could bring one hand to a shelf or a wall and pull the strap apart so you have some tension there. And feel how that opens up through the ribs. I actually need some support for this, so I'm going to use here. But you can direct your energy, your attention into this side that you're stretching just by pulling the strap away from you. Take a couple more breaths. And just gaze wherever is comfortable for your neck. And then slowly come back up, and we'll try the other side. So use props to make this a little bit easier because this is more challenging if you're hovering your arms. So you turn your left toes out, right foot in, align heel to arch, little bend in your knee, take the arms wide apart, inhale, and then exhale, extend your side waist as much as you like. I need to find a wall, probably gonna go out of frame here. Oh no, mid-frame, good. And use that to push against as you pull your backhand away from you, directing your attention into this area that is becoming longer. The side of the leg, the ribs, opening up that lung on your right side. Take one more breath. And then push yourself back up, relax your arms, put the strap down, getting plenty of workout for the shoulders. Now take the feet wide apart, pigeon toe them just a little bit. Hands can come to your hips, and just settle. Take a breath in, lift your chest, and as you exhale, bend your knees and start to come forward. You could pause halfway. You could take your blocks, place them underneath your hands, that way you have some support. And you just have a flat back position here, still trying to carve out a little ditch between the shoulder blades. So you're extending right in the middle of your back, opening your chest. And let your head dangle. And if you have more flexibility, you might fold further forward. One or two more breaths. And then press into your feet, hinge yourself up. We'll do that one more time with the option to clasp your hands behind you. You might like to grab your strap again. You could also just hold your hips if you're over the shoulder opening. But if you're using a strap, behind the back, between the hands. Take it as long as you need. Plant your feet, little pigeon toe. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, start to lean forward. And a little bit goes a long way with this variation, so you might not need to go as deep as you did on the first variation of this pose. This is Prasarita Padottanasana, which means extended or expanded leg stretch. Breathe into wherever you're meeting some resistance or tension. Visualize sending your breath there. Take one more inhale. And exhale. And then press into your feet, lift yourself up. Tuck your chin if you feel any dizziness or lightheadedness. And just give the blood a moment to redistribute. And then when you're ready, heel toe your feet in, place your strap down, And let's make our way to the floor and have a seat. You can take your cushion with you so you have something to sit on. And let's do Pashimotanasana. So this will just be a forward fold. You could have your legs bent and press into your heels as you lean forward and bring your torso close to your thighs. You can bow your head into yourself. This could be a nice gentle variation. If you have more flexibility in the legs, you can extend them. But as you go forward, just be mindful of your lower back. If it's rounding just to get your torso towards your feet, then you might need to bend your knees or stay a little bit higher because you don't want to overstretch your spine there. You can walk your hands further out. Relax your shoulders. And this doesn't have to be your deepest stretch here. Think of this pose as a pacifier for your nervous system. Every posture in yoga is considered to be heating or cooling to the body, and this is a cooling posture. So find a way to make this soothing. Slow your breath down, extend your exhales a little longer than your inhales. One or two more breaths. And then start to walk your hands back up and take a twist here. You can draw one knee in towards you and cross it over your thigh. The foot can be further out or in towards your hip. It's just a matter of preference personally. Lift your chest and then bring one hand behind you. Take a breath in and exhale. Guide your chest off to the right or whichever side you're turning towards. So you're twisting towards your knee. And twists are considered neutral poses, neutralizing, especially for the spine. It's a good way to decompress. Take one more breath. And then exhale, unwind and change sides. Stretch one leg out, bring your other knee in, step it over, and you might just choose to sit up tall here holding onto your knee for balance. Or you bring your left hand behind you, inhale to extend your spine, and exhale to turn and twist. Notice your extended leg foot. Did it go to sleep and just flop? If it did, make it alert. Prop it up. Draw your chin towards your throat just a little bit. Find length in the back of your neck and take one more breath. Unwind, and let's come onto the back so you can move your blanket to the side. And keep your feet flat to the floor, your knees bent. Arms out to your sides. They can be straight in line with your shoulders, or you can have your elbows bent for a little gentler opening. And then we're just going to allow the knees to drift to the right. Inhale, bring them back up. And exhale, let them drift off to the left. And this is sometimes referred to as windshield wipers. You might feel a little more of that decompression now targeting your lumbar spine. You might notice a stretch along the side of your hip, your low back, even your belly. And if you pay attention, there's even a gentle massage to your sacrum, the back of your pelvis. Just using your body weight like a massage tool. And guide your knees back up with your next breath in. And then draw your right knee in towards you. Wrap your arms around the front of the shin or the back of the thigh. And if it's comfortable, you can extend your left leg long. And we'll pause here to breathe. You might like to circle through your ankle a few times. Go in both directions. And then let your foot relax and settle. Feeling any opening or release across the front of your left hip, your thigh, your belly. We have lymph nodes in the groin and the abdomen, and it's like you're milking them with the pressure of your right thigh folded in. This is a good boost to your immune system. Take one more breath. And then slowly begin to switch sides. So you can draw your left foot in, both knees bent. And then when you're ready, left knee moves in towards you, give it a little hug, front of the shin or under the thigh. And if it's comfortable, you can straighten your right leg. If it's not, just keep it bent. You can roll your foot out a few times. Go both ways. And then relax your ankle, relax your toes. Notice how it feels on your right side. From your lowest ribs all the way down the leg. Take one more breath. And then start to drop that foot back down, slide your other foot in. And if you have a blanket or a block nearby, I'll give you an option for a restorative pose here. You'll lift your hips up, pressing into your feet, and slide a folded blanket or a block underneath your sacrum. So it's under the back of your pelvis, not your lower spine. And just this little elevation gives you an inversion, a restorative inversion, and encourages more blood flow, more fluids to your upper body, to your organs, your vital organs, your heart, your lungs, your brain. And if it's comfortable, you could even try straightening your legs, which can be a stretch again for the front of the hips. And if that causes any discomfort in your low back, you can just bend your knees. You might even play with repositioning your prop to make sure it's a little bit lower on your hips or your sacrum. Make sure you're comfortable. So if these options aren't appropriate, you can always just bend your knees or stretch your legs out and relax. And we'll take a few rounds of a pranayama, focusing on a 1-to-2 ratio between the inhale and exhale. So with your next breath cycle, before you change anything, count the length of your inhale and the length of your exhale. And they might have been even, or you might have found one is longer than the other. And with your next breath in, pick a comfortable pace. Maybe it's 4 count or a 6 count to your inhale, and see if you could double that with your exhale. So breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and continue. And if it's too long, you just shorten the count. Slowing down your exhale is like flipping a switch to your nervous system to relax, to rest. Do one more cycle. And when you're ready, return to natural breathing. If you have a prop underneath your hips, you can remove it. Push it off to the side. And before we set up for Savasana, just draw both knees in and give them a slow stir with your hands. Like you're tracing circles on the back of your pelvis. Pause and reverse the direction. And then once you're satisfied with that, you can place your feet back down and set yourself up for some rest. So if you'd like to go to a wall and bring your legs up to the wall, you could take that option. You might like to place a blanket roll underneath your knees and stretch your legs out over it. You might even like to cover yourself with a blanket for some extra warmth. Do whatever you need to so that you give yourself permission to settle and find some stillness. Something that's said often in meditation circles or yoga circles is don't just do something, sit there. There's a whole world that's visible, that opens up to you, that sometimes we don't notice because we're too busy. As you relax here, just be with your breath, in through the nose, out through the nose. Relax your face, your eyes, your ears, your mouth, even your tongue. Feel the weight of your head resting, the gentle curve in your neck. And trace that down to your upper back, noticing the places in contact with the floor beneath you. Relax your right shoulder, your left shoulder, all the way down your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your hands and fingers. Feel the front of your chest and your belly open, moving with your breath. Notice the weight of your hips, the center of your body resting. Relax your right hip, your left hip, and down the length of your legs, through your knees, your ankles, your feet and your toes. Notice your breath again, in through the nose, out through the nose. As you rest, if you like, you can bring to mind your intention. Your deepest wish. And visualize it. Make it real. Give it an image or a color. Imagine your intention fulfilled in present time. Let that drift out of your mind, and we'll just rest here for another couple minutes. start to bring your attention back to your breathing, back to your body. Deepen your breath. Sense yourself against the floor. And create a little bit of movement. You can wiggle your fingers, your toes, even turn your head from side to side. And we'll start to transition back to seated. So you can draw your knees in towards your chest if you're on your back, and carefully roll to one side. And then once you're there, use the strength of your arms to press yourself back up. And when you arrive, reestablish your seat. Feel your body, the quality of energy within you. Notice your breath. And then join your hands together in front of your chest, acknowledging the time that you took to practice yoga for you. Take a deep breath in and let it out your mouth. Rub your hands together, warm yourself up. Place your hands over your eyes, blink them open, and then relax your hands all the way back down. Namaste, thank you.